Yeah, I know you guys like quickies, right? You like quickies, you like Vibe, you fun, you like good vibes. By the way, I just want to quick comment about the previous speech. You mentioned that sometimes, like, you don't have to behave with the LLM. You don't have to talk like it's a real person with all the polite. There was actually a study that shows that if you're being rude with AI, it's actually giving you better results. I mean, it's proven for the moment. I don't know, because I still had some cases where even I was completely rude, it still screwed me up with something. But okay, yeah, my name is Albert, and I guess I'm a Vibe engineer. I used to be a developer, full stack developer, team lead, CTO, and now I'm like a full-time Vibe engineer, mostly working with chatbots and currently LLMs. Previously, I used to work with all kinds of things like biometry, blockchain, some information security, so interesting things. So I wanted to keep this one quick and have a bit of fun, a bit of philosophy, and just a tiny drop of glue. You guys know why we need glue? Can you guess? I guess not, but you probably know that actually vibe coding with LLMs is like, it's a lot like building ships in the bottom. But we'll get there. So let's play a game first. But not this one. No. Let's play that one. Do you guys like riddles?
Kind of.
Kind of. So there is a very famous game, riddle game, named Black Stories. Black Stories. So my initial idea was actually to have a quick session inside this session, quick session of Black Story game. So there's a riddle. I give you the case where you have to guess why. And you can only ask me yes or no, yes/no questions, right? I mean, in completely irrelevant cases, I can tell you that this question is irrelevant or doesn't matter, or I don't know, but you basically ask me yes or no questions. So here's the game. And here's a twist. Yeah, those riddles here are created by LLMs. So you could also keep that in mind. The first one, a man turns on the light, walks into a room and turns on the light. And then he bursts out laughing like crazy. So why? Any ideas? And we have time limited for this game, so let's keep it quick. Any guesses? Any hypotheses?
See something funny.
Yeah. You see, he sees something funny.
Was it dark before he turned on the light?
Huh?
Was it dark before he turned on the
Yeah,
light?
it was dark.
Did he see his own image in the mirror?
No.
Can you ask ChatGPT, please?
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
So he could actually turn on the
He
light.
turned on the light.
Did he saw people?
No.
He saw images.
No.
Object?
Objects. Yes.
Did he literally burst?
No, no. He just was laughing like crazy. Ruffled.
Did he expect?
No, he obviously didn't expect something, and no.
Is he mad?
He's mad. No.
Is he mad?
No, he's not mad.
What the object moving?
The object, let's say one of them.
This is how does the LLM try to understand this? Is there a right question here?
There
right
are
answer?
right questions, and
A right
actually
answer.
there is a right answer.
Okay.
There is a certain story. You have to basically narrow down the possibilities to get where you actually need to understand.
So previously it was when he turned on the light, it was working or not?
It was dark, he enters the room, he turns on the light, and then he like, oh shit, that's so funny.
Birthday party.
No.
Okay, the
Who
question
wrote
is,
it bad?
It's connected with a lot of objects inside the
the question is why? So he obviously saw something
room.
funny.
Something funny, so what exactly? The context matters.
Is
The
it
context
bad?
matters.
It was surprise for him,
It was a really big surprise, that's why he take the picture.
but somebody prepared it.
Partially.
Do we know what type of room is this?
Sorry?
Do we know what type of room is this?
But I'm from just a, let's say, big enough, but not too big.
Is it a special day for the man?
Hmm?
Is it a special day for the man?
Special day, no.
Okay, so there were.
Someone else prepared, I don't know exactly, but someone prepared what was there.
Was it after because the objects were not on the places, or maybe a cat rough along?
There was a cat.
Okay.
There was a cat, but that was part of the story.
So the objects were small.
So something happened when the
Was
cat
cat
was
trapped somewhere?
Sorry?
Was cat trapped somewhere?
No.
He was writing rumor.
He is alive.
He's alive, yeah.
So the cat did something funny, and he found out only when he turned on the
The
light.
cat, yes, the cat did this funny when he turned on the
So
light.
do we need to guess what exactly did the cat?
Yeah.
He was vibe coding.
No, that's about like the real world. At least as much as LLMs can get.
He was pissing.
Hmm?
Pissing.
Pissing, no.
He's already done that.
No.
Did the cat already do that, or it already did that because he turned on the light and it was scared and did something?
So basically, just to remind you, I have to answer yes/no question. So I'll try to keep this simple.
Did the cat do something before the man did turn on the
No,
light?
when he turned the light.
So the cat was scary and
Not scary.
not scary, okay. Once the light surprised the cat, it did something.
Yeah.
Okay. So did the cat do such a mess, some kind of a mess?
Kind of, but not.
Any
not
other
physical
animals?
mess. No, no animals in the room. No other animals.
The cat did something and it was funny.
There
Is
was-
cat
there was-
the actual reason why man is laughing?
Actually, what he did and what happened after the cat's actions.
Okay.
Electrocuted the cat.
So
Turn on.
I'll give you a small hint. It's about a lot of clocks. A lot of clocks. Alarm clocks.
He ran through one arm cross and triggered them all.
He triggered on the 100 alarm clocks in the room, the cat. Triggered on the alarms on the 100 of clocks. That's basically the secret there, the key. So you win. Congratulations! Yay!
I have one question. How the fuck would
Sorry?
guess that?
It's a good question, but it's also interesting point here because, as I mentioned before, the storyline was actually created by LLM. And here we get to understanding how we see the world and how LLM sees the world, right? So there is a bit of a difference. We can do actually another one. That's quicker and simple if you like. I can also give you that one up front if you're not interested in guessing. So an elevator opens, it's completely empty. The waiting person smiles, satisfied, and walks away. Not by the elevator, just walks.
He was fixing the elevator.
No.
There is no buttons.
Hmm?
No buttons in the elevator.
No.
Did he want to make sure about something?
Yes, he wanted to make sure about something.
Did he wait that elevator should go open?
He was waiting for the elevator should be open. And okay, let's not waste too much time on it. I'll give you up front. So basically, he was testing the mobile app that calls the elevator, and we've satisfied because he just wanted to test it. He was like a technician. He was a technician that controls that elevator for.
Also AI generated riddle.
Yeah. So, but actually, the normal riddles, human generated. That thing is Black Stories. I have it actually with me, the box of it in Latvian language. So if you want to play afterwards, we can do a quick one. For example, there is a riddle like this: like 2 dead bodies at the table, and a gun on the table, and chess. So I'm not going to ask you for the answer because I'll give you up front. So basically, the situation happens in a submarine that had a disaster. So basically, it ran out of oxygen, and they had to play chess to decide who is actually going to shoot himself because there's only 1 bullet in the pistol, and the other person obviously died because of air lacking. So that's why it's Black Stories, because it's a bit of creepy, you know. But those are human-made, and they are still a bit odd, right? Because they should be hard to guess, you know. And now it would be a nice, like, relevant question from your side, like, why am I even telling you this, and why this matters? And this is actually quite close how we steer LLMs in the real life. So we form a hypothesis, we test it with some questions, we narrow it down, and we repeat the cycle to keep going, right? So assumptions, clarifications, checking the context, adjusting the tasks, and you cannot just ask, tell us what happened. You have to break problem into pieces and move step by step, right? And also operate in the state of incomplete information. So that is how we precisely explain what we want, just breaking down, decomposing the task. But also, when we think about logic, we imagine something like human logic or programming logic, when we work with loops and pure functions, some decisions, but human logic is more of a vibe, right? So there's a certain mismatch, and we of course know that LLM's logic is completely different, right? So it's based on probabilities and text, and its interpretation of text, some understanding of its semantics. So there are 3 things that always go wrong. That is, we get high confidence nonsense, we get context illusions, and we get hidden bias math, like whenever training data it's trained on, it becomes the probabilistic truth, right? Not the real truth based on facts. So humans improvise with meaning, but AIs improvise with statistics. And here we actually get to glue and ships in the bottle. Do you know how people make ships in the bottle? I will tell you. You don't know. You don't know that one. I will tell you. So obviously you take a nice bottle, you throw in some junk, put a bit of glue, and then you just shake it. You get some weird crap, mostly. Sometimes ships. So this is exactly how working with LLMs look like, Vibe coding looks like, and you cannot reach inside. You have to work with the environment and hope that the structure holds whatever you're Vibe coding. And when we ask LLM for something more complex, it will mostly fail, but not because it's stupid or small or something, just because you're giving it too many decisions inside one request, too many things it has to decide for, not because it's weak, right? But if we make our apps and we try to leverage AI, apply AI to our apps, we also cannot trust it the full decision. For example, if I ask the ChatGPT to generate a riddle, okay, with the agent and proper chain of thought, it can give you one. But if you just ask ChatGPT by, let's say, API, you call it and try to generate a riddle, it will generate you some completely misinteresting storyline, right? That's why you have to break it down and not to just talk about give me a nice riddle, but define it in a few steps, like create the world, then extract hidden facts, then check the consistency, and then turn it into something that actually gives you a human, a nice scene to play with. So it's not about prompt magic, it's just a design with some probabilistic component inside, right? So, yeah, instead of asking the model to do the reasoning, you design how the system should reason and let the model, LLM, fill the uncertainties there, those minor parts. And if they are smaller, the more you're in control of the whole process. So let's go a bit deeper and just, again, why black stories? So actually it's quite an interesting task to design the system that gives you, that judges your hypothesis. That judges your hypothesis, what exactly, what you just said, to give you an answer yes or no. It's quite complicated. If you try to give responsibility to LLM to give you that that answer, it will most certainly fail. You can try this at home, but if you want to make it better, more reliable, with some good reliability, good amount of correct responses, you have to break it down. You have to break down the whole logic pipeline. First, you get the input, of course, and you try to normalize it, extracting the entities, trying to understand the entities, actions that user has mentioned, relation between entities, and cleanly to specify the hypothesis, right? Then you have to judge if this is the correct answer, but it's also more complex than this. There is actually a whole diagram of logic that has to be checked, because you check if those hypotheses, each of them is true, then you try to check the other way, like if there are no contradictions, conflicts between things. So it's more complicated rather than just one single request to LLM. And it's much better if the final, you're more in control of things, if the final decision actually is taken by your programmed logic, not the LLM itself. Like, you can check facts with LLMs, like those facts are closed, okay, you guys guessed it. But then, basically, programmatically, you can already check that all my facts are guessed. Cool, we'll get to the point. And in the end, of course, we generate some response that makes sense to a user, decide the game outcome, and generate the answer for player. But you don't always have to make systems smart to be useful. Like in this kind of system, obviously, you try to implement some use case, some logic pipeline, and you just take those small decisions, you can give those small decisions to AI. And in most cases you have to think about what you actually want to achieve, what kind of pipelines need to be run. So, yeah, and actually one interesting point, one thing I noted myself, most people, even though they know a chatbot does like one thing, they try to break into the purpose very often. They just want to like challenge it and prove themselves that they are smarter than the chatbot is. Okay, but this is not actually what this is about. So what is it about? I've been interested in yoga and body work and nutrition for many years, more than 20. More than 20. So at this point, I built something playful and cute around it, and this is the chatbot in Telegram named Zhorik. Currently, it's only in Russian, but if there are some Latin speakers and they write me in private, I'll be motivated enough to localize it. So he's a nutritionist, not a doctor, just a good friend that reminds you to eat well, and it analyzes food, what exactly are you sending, the food you're eating, or text prompts, the text messages, what exactly did you eat. It gives you and keeps in mind your total calories, breaks down to nutritioning, like carbons, fats, proteins, so how much you get each of those. And it even reminds you to eat something specific, like broccoli, if you are running out of certain vitamins and nutrition. So it's kind of cool, and some people using it think it's cool. So feel free to try it. It has some QR code there, but it's not that smart as so you will very easily prove yourself that you're smarter, but you still can play. And yeah, as well as reach me out if you're into marketing. So I want to make this big.
Is it available public?
Yeah, it's in Telegram. So basically, this is it, a quickie. That one is constantly improving, and hopefully my speech has improved your vibe at least a bit. So thank you for that. If you have any questions about Zhorik or anything else mentioned, please feel free.
It's using some kind of LLMs to analyze what you're sending and giving you some advices.
Yeah.
What about some legal side, if you're giving bad advices and someone dies?
Well, you obviously have to, first of all, build in such kind of system, you have to make sure no one dies. And obviously this is not a doctor, so it gives you advices, it tries to talk to your rational mind, but you in the end taking decision. Like it should not give you a recommendation to eat some poison, right? But if you know about your health issues, I mean, it's your responsibility still. So.
What's the baseline for that advices? I mean, how it knows what to suggest?
What to suggest? It analyzes your food. So if you keep sending, every day your meals in the mornings, it gives you analysis, like what could be good for you to have, or what is it there to reduce.
Well, I mean, how it determines is it good, what's missing, etc. How it's comparing, so there should be a baseline that this is an ideal, I don't know, set of meals during the day or a week, and then if I'm sending it something else, I don't know, McDonald's for an entire week, it says like, okay, get some broccoli.
There is no such ideal set of meals, but there are certain recommendations which we can base this on. I mean, certain things should get in your body, because the actual digestion is not only happening in your stomach, it's also happening in your cells. So you have those cells to actually make them work somehow. The real digestion in the cells is happening when you get those missing nutrition. So certain elements is what you have to get from food. So obviously there's no 100% correct meal that people should be always eating. But if you're only eating burgers, it's pretty easy to guess what exactly is missing in your digestion. So it's actually not that complicated as you might think.
What is the tech stack for this
Tech stack?
board?
It's basically Node.js, Next.js, and mostly like databases. So there is no even graph, there's no even vector database inside currently. I'm thinking of introducing one,
But you are
quite
using
simple.
some LLM which was pre-teached, or you teach it by yourself?
I'm providing the context. I'm providing details in the context, some guidelines, like black, let's say, but not exactly. I'm not yet teaching my own model for this. So I'm still using commercial models.
Why Jorik thinks beer is not a food?
It's not food. It's beer. No, he doesn't like. He doesn't like
You
beer.
need to fix it.
Sometimes
You
though
will say
it.
that
Sometimes
you
it guesses though. Sometimes it can guess, but because of image recognition, it does not always work perfectly. Also,
He understood it's a
providing-
beer, but beer is a food.
And as I mentioned, many people like to make those pictures in the way that it's completely impossible to understand what it is. Yeah, but obviously it cannot understand. So if human can't read it, why should LLM? But it often gives you a correct answer, and if it's not the correct one, then it gives you an option to edit, which is also quite convenient because in the end, you don't want it to be 100% precise, right? In the end, you want it to help you to actually get that perfect balance within good feeling and the food you're eating. So, and this is where I try to implement it in the way that people are not too stressed about what they're eating. So in a friendly manner, but helpful.
I have one question regarding you told about ships in the bottle, yes, that you are shaking and getting a ship, and I have in my head appeared one question about LLM. Are they practicing the same thing? For example, you are asking your language model to create better algorithm for language model to find a solution for example, increasing performance, decreasing something, for example, mistakes or something like that, and ask your LLM to create new LLM that is better than previous LLM. Is this approach viable or use it, or it's not even an option?
I haven't done this personally, but I can tell you one thing. As I already mentioned before, if you're given it a task that sounds simple to you, you still should keep in mind that actually that simple might be just your impression. Because if you try to describe the logical part of it, it's actually enormously complex. So that means if you just ask ChatGPT to build a new and better LLM, obviously it won't be too helpful. But if you ask questions like how to analyze, how to describe that new model, what exactly could be improved, like each of those steps, the smaller you go, the smaller those questions to LLM are, the better results you get. So, of course, guys in OpenAI use their LLMs to create LLMs, of course, but they break down and go to small pieces, and they have to design the pipeline. They have to think about how agent actually works and talks to you, how he leverages those LLM calls in a small, understandable way. Understandable not for our impression as humans, but for LLMs and the system itself. All right.
For this, thank you.
Thank you.